All right. Merve Sebnem Oruc is a journalist and political commentator, and she joins me now in the studio for more on this. Merve, the third anniversary of July the 15th, 2016, Turkey is still healing from its wounds. We just saw in Ankara where Andrew came onto the show and he's talked about the reopening of this new police station. How has Turkey been healing from this, and what has it learned from the events of 3 years ago?
Well, yeah, it was a really traumatic event, you know, the attempted coup. It was not only a night which would be romanticized, which would be seen as a victory, but also we lost too many people. We have lots of martyrs, and many people who are still trying to heal, but also as a society, we are trying to heal ourselves, but also we are trying to learn from what happened that night. You know, the coups are not happening in just one day. The history, the recent history, the happening of the making of the coup took a lot of time. Maybe it started with the Gezi events, and I believe it started with Gezi events, and the Turkish society split it into two, actually, and then we lived too many things, such as the December 2013 judiciary attempted coup again, and then we had terror attacks, too many terror attacks, as you remember, in 2015.
Between 2015 and 2017.
Yeah, and I remember that every day, almost every day, we woke up thinking and being scared of what kind of terror attacks we will see. After the attempted coup, we learned that the terrorists are not the only ones who are in front of you carrying a gun. But also there can be some terrorists who are nested inside the state apparatus, who can be infiltrated into your army, your police stations, your judiciary. Actually, the Gülenists are who are loyal to Fethullah Gülen are have kind of a history, maybe more than 3 decades, which were trying to infiltrate the government. They were not trying to make politics in a normal way. They wanted to take the control of the government. Maybe they wanted to be the establishment of Turkey, but not in a good way, actually.
Okay, so that was their desire. But the investigation that started very soon after July 15th, 2016, quickly became Turkey's largest, most comprehensive judicial case ever, the Fethullah Gülen case. Has Turkey been able to eliminate this threat then?
Actually, not. I don't believe so. With regards to the army, because we still don't know how many people infiltrated into Turkish army. Recently, as far as I know, 12,000, kind of 12,000 people were now out of the army, and recently some of the cases, lawsuits are about to end, but I believe in the army they are still active. Most of them are sleeping, like sleeping cells. They are inside.
Official numbers put it just about over 8,500, and nearly half of the generals and admirals within the Turkish military armed forces actually are being accused of knowing or taking part of this. So it's actually quite...
Yeah, but we have to know that at least 2 or 3 decades, Fethullah Gülen himself is trying to infiltrate into the state apparatus. The schools, for instance, they try to make their students to be prepared to the army year by year. So considering the fact that every year there was an exam to join the army and etc., there can be more than that, because the army is the most important, most influential apparatus of a state, actually. So actually I believe there is more than 10,000 or something, but not only me, but many former soldiers, many former high-rank soldiers are saying that that might be only 10% of the Gülenis that are still in the army.
Okay. Merve, now one of the main criticisms of Turkey after the coup was that President Erdogan conducted a series of purges by the government of Turkey because of the powers granted by the state of emergency. You had tens of thousands of military personnel, civil servants, even people from the private sector either being arrested, detained, and some sentenced. Do you think Turkey has done a good job in explaining itself why it did the things it did and needed to do the things it needed to do?
And maybe you remember after December 2013, again, President Erdogan was accused of making kind of big purge against police and judiciary. And he was right, actually. If there was no police or no judiciary members, judges and prosecutors enough in Turkish state apparatus, maybe they will be successful. I mean, the army would get help from the police department. But thank the God that we made these purges in 2013, starting from 2013. The police officers were with the people, with the society. And we had this emergency period. Maybe it took more than we expected. But we have to remember, it was not only a coup attempt. Especially in 2015, the PKK and the Daesh, they both attacked Turkey too many times. We had too many terror attacks, not only in southeastern part of Turkey. They targeted big cities. Actually, too many explosions and bomb attacks happened in Istanbul, in Ankara, and we were actually that night. Maybe you remember that night. We were kind of like, is it a terror attack? What's happening right now, or is it a? No one wanted to mention the name, the coup attempt, but we were in kind of. Trying to answer the question.
For a number of hours, people didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, but actually it was both.
Okay. Merve Sebnem Oruc, thank you for coming on. Indeed, one of the toughest times that Turkey has gone through, at least in the last 7 years. Thank you.
Thank you.